In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the skills and talents of Israil Madrimov and compare them to how they're going to line up with Terence Crawford for his kind of maybe coming out party at 154. So we're going to go ahead and get into the film and start talking about how Israil Madrimov likes to come forward. So in the orthodox stance, he's going to do a lot of stepping jabs and jabs. Notice his head right now is on the right side of the line. His opponent's is on the left side of the line here. But this big space here open up. He's going to throw a lot of jabs this way. The right hand can come over the top. If you're good with a jab can come over the top. But a lot of times there's going to be this big hole and he's going to be lunging on top of somebody's line here. And this punch here, this opener for Madrimov, I think is going to be the biggest and most telling. As we see here, you see what he's doing with his right hand here. See his bow and arrow jab to the body. Oh my goodness, bow and arrows, you guys. Now, this is going to be one of those funny things because um, this is just one of those things that happens if you throw with power or you're going to interact with speed. If you're not an athlete, if you're not someone who knows how to punch hard, if you've never really fought, if you're not one of those people, if you're a guy that only learned fighting through watching film study, right? Like somebody like Boxing Gems, those kinds of people who don't understand that this is just one of those things that happens, right? It's how you generate momentum. Okay, it's how you become explosive. So he's throwing his bow and arrow jab to the body here. But if you're one of those people that doesn't understand that, you're just, it's okay. It's okay to be an idiot and to be like a fake film study artist. But um, that type of movement is very, very, very common, as you see here. This guy's bow and arrowing with his jab to get on the line with Madrimov as well. But take a look at the Philly shell-like thing that Madrimov has going on here. Again, look at how low that left hand is. There's just a big hole over the top, and we can see here the jab getting there. Look what happens if his opponent throws a 1-2 here. Madrimov is coming forward. Now, he's kind of penduluming forward. His back leg is going to move forward. Gather step here. Take a step forward. Boom. Gets attacked on this timing. Right, if you guys are familiar, this is the timing that Regis Prograis got dropped against Devin Haney. But it's a very common pattern, a very common time for your opponent to interact with you. Okay, and it's very, very, very important. Again, look at how low that lead shoulder is. But it's very important that you understand that and learn how to come forward um, using that kind of pendulum walk, as I call it. Now, a punch gets thrown at Israil Madrimov, and what does he do? Well, both of his hands are down, right? He's parrying the shot. The left hand is not up if a right hand comes through. And this is really important. It's really important to understand how a guy's defense is going to work, what type of combinations are going to be effective against them. And again, his hands are just kind of always down. They're never really in a position to interact with the line. And here he's kind of raising that hand, but it's not really interacting with that punch. He's kind of just getting hit straight through. And this is a big problem. If he's going to be getting hit with jabs, he's going to be getting hit with straight right hands. He's going to have a very difficult time stopping Crawford from just throwing, kind of looks like what, any punch at him at all. Now, as he comes forward with that stepping jab, okay, he's on the right side of the line, telegraphs it, all that stuff. Bow and arrow jab, boom, getting caught. He's getting hit here with the jab. He'd get hit here with a hook. He's trying to be fast. He's trying to be explosive. This is just how it works. Now, it sucks for him that he only has a stepping jab, and he's not going to be able to do this move without stepping. But because of the fact that he always enters the line from the right side, he's always stepping, it's going to make it kind of easy to kind of predict when he's getting on your line. And that's very, very bad for him because he's fighting Terence Crawford, who's a pretty excellent counterpuncher sometimes. Now, again, take a look at those jabs. Is he crossing the line? Is he this? He's waited for his opponent to cross the line that time through the jab. Now his opponent gets to the line again, throws that punch again. Missing. No head movement, no this, no that. Now again, a little bit of a lunging, stepping jab here. Getting to the line, stepping jab to the body. stepping jab again. Now, getting to the line, and again, the is he going to get hit with the jab? Now that his hands are up, he gets to the line here, and he's trying to cover this shot here. You're not going to be able to cover them all, okay? His opponent's gotten him with a couple of jabs. Now he's trying to guard the straight punches here, and his opponent gets on the line with the hook instead, okay? It's a cost of business. It's just going to happen sometimes. But very, very, very important to understand that this hole is going to be here. Now, Crawford doesn't throw a lot of lead hooks, so it's not super important, but it is a very, very, very important thing to point out. Now, again, it looks like he has a tight guard here for a second, right? Like the left hand looks kind of tight here, but he's coming forward again. He gets back into that Philly shell, and we see as his opponent comes here, he thinks, okay, he's going to control me with the lead hand. Front, lead hand, back, front, lead hand, and he tries to parry that beat and gets cracked here. Again, would this be called a bow and arrow parry? Right? He's expecting a jab here, right? And he just gets punched. Again, it's just one of those things. You got to predict the sequence correctly. If you don't predict the sequence correctly, you're going to get punched in the face. Okay? It's not about, oh, you just got to have your hands. You got to have your hands up so your opponent doesn't hit you with any free stuff. But you still got to be able to predict the sequences correctly because your opponent may vary them, you know? But so far Madrimov not very difficult to hit. Okay, now right side of the line, stepping jab, double stepping jab, and this is going to be important later when we talk about that leaping hook. Okay, now a lot of the attacks that he's making so far are with the left hand. Now this one he does make from the left side of the line. These ones are all from the right side of the line. But he's going to cross here to the left side of the line here without feinting, without probing, without controlling, without throwing a punch, most importantly. So he's still going to this side and then jumping into this leaping stuff. And we're going to see he fights someone who can kind of do that. Crawford does. Now, as he throws a stepping jab, again, this is a main source of his offense. This is the main source of him getting on the line with his opponent. Boom, his opponent starts trying to chase him back. Look at his defense when he leaves. His ability to protect this punch is not very high. And I expect that he'll have a little bit of trouble letting the jab to the body go and being able to score a lot with that shot safely against Terence Crawford. I think it's going to be very, very difficult for him. Now, as his opponent Kuprinov comes here, goes forward, back, forward to the front foot, back, sticking the lead hand out there, and then gets attacked by Madrimov, right? No. Very interesting because that lead hand there comes out there, boom, and he looks to attack, boom, gets to the front foot, comes in with the leaping hook right after. Very Ryan Garcia-like, very, right? And again, that's going to become a very common pattern as people saw how effective it was, but it's a very, very, very common pattern of movement, very common pattern of attack. You know, Floyd Mayweather used to do that one quite a bit. You make him think you're going to throw a jab and you throw a hook instead on the next beat. But so we're going to pay attention to that because that move, even though throwing a leaping shot is very dangerous, we're going to talk about how that comes into play with Terence Crawford. Now jab, 1, 2. Now watch his back leg here. Very, very, very important, okay? So he's going to get on the line with the leaping shot. Boom, leaping. Look at him moving forward. Okay, gets back on the line. Were there any beats there to attack him? Yeah. Now he's going to get on the line with a 1, gets parried. 2, gets shoulder rolled, shifts forward. Are there any beats to attack him? Look at how he kind of throws this little frame up here, right? Boom, throws the frame up. It's not a real punch. He's kind of framing to control him. But he kind of lunges after both of these main attacks here, okay? Leaping left hook, right hand, Both of them cause him to generate more momentum than he can get safely into his punch. Now, stepping jab, again, his opponent gets under it, tries to counter it, and then he tries to kind of counter that a little bit. Kind of? We'll see. We'll see who comes out ahead in that. But the jab to the body will be a major um, point of contention in this fight. Now, control gets parried, counter. Very, very interesting because pay attention, beat, 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 beat. This is going to be a very, very, very important timing too because Madrimov is not actually that good defensively. So when he does decide to make a defensive move or try to interact with an opponent's punch or opponent's whatever, um, again, back leg shifting forward, it's going to put him at more risk, okay? Because he did a good job there, and then he wound up paying for it a little more than you'd want someone to pay for their defensive thing. Now, lead hand control comes out, touches him, okay? Madrimov is looking to fight off of his opponent's lead hand control because his opponent is doing a decent job controlling that space. Now, Madrimov made him think, oh, I'm going to come forward. He's controlling with the lead hand, and now he's coming around the lead hand control. Again, just like the last time on that beat with kind of a leaping left hook. Again, throws that punch, doesn't defend it very well, kind of shoves and frames, gets to the line. Now, him getting smacked here with the left hook as he gets on the line with the lead hand control again, this little tension here is going to be really interesting because Crawford is not always the most active on the line, even if he's getting information or controlling space here. There will be space to attack him. There will be space to explode and come around on his line. But there also will be space where if Madrimov tries to control space against him, he may get caught coming into the line like that as well. So those traps kind of go both ways. Now, is this a good defense from Madrimov? When he comes to the line here, he touches him with the little probe there, and then he kind of freaks out and moves into this weird position thing. And if the natural succession to your opponent throwing a jab is just throwing a right hand right after, this position here winds up being very, very, very bad for Madrimov. Control with the jab here, boom, and you just throw a right hand right over the top. And Madrimov's natural defense here, as we can see parrying the jab, is very, very, very weak to the right hand here. Now, this idea is going to be very, very, very important later, especially when we start talking about Crawford being a southpaw, okay? And we see how effective the possible 2-3 may wind up being. Now, getting on the line, touching him with the lead hand control, getting him to counter the lead hand control, and then countering the counter. Okay? Again, that's going to be a very, very important pattern as well. Stepping jab, can he protect that move? Again, such a common form of offense for him into a 1-2. Now, lunging with the 1-2, look at how quick he goes from the 1 to the 2. Super fast, which makes him very, very, very dangerous. Okay? For a few reasons. Now, again, super fast with the 1-2. Very, very, very difficult sequence, and a lot of times Crawford is going to allow his opponents to kind of throw punches at him. It's very dangerous. He won't always be the most active, the most this. Stepping jab, very dangerous. And then again, look at him go to that frame. Not follow up, not throw a punch, but kind of try to shove this guy. Now, look at his opponent's guard, okay? Are his hands up, A, B, C? Madrimov is kind of circling and moving around this guy. This guy's not really putting up all that much resistance, right? And I think Madrimov sometimes will circle and try to set traps on the outside here when he doesn't have to. And it kind of tells me that he doesn't really know how to use his probes very well. right? Again, here he is with the jab to the body, the two over the top. Now, again, he's used that jab to the body quite a bit. Boom, boom. And it's finally starting to pay dividends for him in this fight, but it is one of those, you know, less than stellar openers. Okay, and when we get to Crawford, we'll be able to take a look at why. Um, but again, very, very, very few options for Madrimov to get on the line. Now, jumping on the line, this is a move that Crawford is very good at, countering the jab to the body with the right hand over the top, and then following it up here. Again, very, very, very dangerous to just jump onto your opponent's line with a stepping punch. Okay. Now, this is a really interesting one because he's circling. His opponent throws a jab to the body, and watch him, off the block of the jab to the body, move into this leaping shot. This is so important because, again, sometimes Crawford is going to get a little bit lackadaisical. He's going to chill. He's going to be thinking for a long time. He's going to be doing A, B, C, or D. And A, B, C, and D are going to wind up being not feinting and probing and controlling space. You know, um, and sometimes he'll just make an attack. He'll just jump, throw a stepping punch. He'll just, you know, and if Madrimov can find a way to be explosive enough to catch Crawford, maybe he can alienate him from some of his probes. Most importantly, maybe he can hurt him with one of those types of shots. Because he kind of does get a lot of space to kind of throw a lot of punches. Now, again, trying to follow up with the jab to the body, getting smacked here. Again, it's a very, very dangerous maneuver. Now, how does he fight southpaws? Well, spoiler, jab to the body. Okay, cool. Jab to the body, guys. Jab to the body. Wow. Spoiler alert, guys. Madrimov. Hmm. Hmm. Kinda basic, right? A lot of his openers are very, very similar. Doesn't have a lot of good ones. Now, here's a rear hand probe, which something that he doesn't use very often. He doesn't throw his rear hand, but it's not really a probe. Watch him get to the line here, and watch him kind of. I don't like this term, right? Because he kind of changes levels here. Now, I don't like this term. I'm not going to say it again. No, it's not a change level. It's only a level change because he's doing it wrong. But he's getting down. He's bringing his weight to the ground here. He's kind of telling on himself here that he's going to throw this punch, and he's going to do it up, down, and into this punch again. And his opponent can kind of get away from it, right? He can kind of see it coming. His opponent is trying to be athletic and just jump and pendulum step off the line. Now, as his opponent gets to the line and controls him with the lead hand, it sticks it out. Madrimov tries to counter over the top with that little jab thing. Okay, it pushes him off the line. Now the guy gets to the line again, controls him, and he tries to get under and throw this too. And he smacks him in the face with that shot. You can't see because the ref's in the way. But Madrimov is fighting off of the lead hand control of his opponent here. And again, this lead hand control is very, very, very important for Crawford because Crawford may wind up actually being the smaller timeout. I don't actually think, even though Crawford is the one moving up to 154, that he's really going to be the smaller or the weaker guy in this fight. I think that he is going to have a strength advantage, speed advantage, and if he wants to, um, I think that he could really put it on Madrimov early because of his defense. But um, it's very important, no matter how good you are, no matter this or that, that you're able to control space and keep your opponent from kind of sneaking up on you and hitting you with the hard shot. And Madrimov is doing a decent job here fighting off of that kind of timing that would protect you from that type of stuff. Again, the lead hand comes out, fights off of that shit. Lead hand comes out, fights off of that shit, smacks him. And then again, the lead hand's going to come out, boom, and he's going to fight off of it here. Boom. Little random stepping jab. Now again, throws that stepping jab, controlling space. Stepping jab, slips. Little uppercut here. Nice, cute little trick from Madrimov. Leaping shot. Oh, and he could follow it up. Very, very, very out of the norm for him, right? So very interesting. And now again, his opponent gets to the line, throws that rear hand probe, boom, stepping jab, and he's slipping it, countering it. Okay, so a few different ways in the open stance here that he can fight off fight off of his opponent's lead hand, kind of showing a little bit of, you know, expertise, a little bit of I think more appropriately it's experience, right? Now, look at his guard here. Very, very, very bad guard. And I think that Madrimov winds up getting into a position where he has a bad guard really early into the fights. Now, stepping jab, he slips it again, cracks the guy. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. And again, so far doing a decent job fighting off of that lead hand. Now, I guess this is the part where we get into a little bit of Crawford, and it's not a little bit. We have a lot of clips to go so far, so we're going to start talking about a little bit of Kavaliauskas and what might be why would we be talking about this fight? This doesn't make any sense. Who's Kavaliauskas? Well, I think there was a time where Kavaliauskas was the second best welterweight in the division, while Crawford was the best. And I think that it was really, really, really unfortunate that Top Rank had both of these guys. They had the two best guys, and they had to make them fight each other instead of getting them to go be able to go beat Spence up. Because um, I think that Mean Machine here would have annihilated Spence. I think he would have beaten Keith Thurman. I think that he would have easily beaten Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Now, when I said this all before Errol Spence got absolutely battered, people said that I was crazy. But think about how badly this guy would have beaten Errol Spence, how hard this guy is to fight, how fast and explosive he is, that he was able to hurt and outbox Terence Crawford. Errol Spence got wiped by Crawford. Wiped. That was a wash. And this fight, he knocks him down. Now, how's he knock him down, you guys? Well, he's going to jab him to the body here, but okay. Moving around, stepping jab, tries to counter that jab. Now, a few things, right? His guard is up and everything, right? Decent guard. Look at that. There's a hole there for sure. Gets his hands up. Still gets picked off. Okay. It's not what we're talking about, but stepping jab to the body. Boom. Free point. Okay. Again, same place that Madrimov likes to start. Controlling space, touching that lead hand, and then firing some jabs off of the lead hand control. And again, Crawford, a lot of lead hand control. Okay, we haven't seen too much so far, but we're gonna see quite a bit. Boom. And as he's controlling space, his opponent's expecting, oh, okay, I'm gonna control space. Jab to the body. Now Crawford jumps onto his line with this hook, and Crawford coming with the heater. Whew. Look at that. Bop, bop. And then chases him. Now this is really important. Boom. And watch Kavaliauskas control him with that lead hand right there. He's going to stick that out there on his way out in the next sequence too. Now again, seeing if he's going to chase him. Control. Throws that shot, pushes him off the line. Crawford controls him. Gives him a little bit of a probe. Catching him over the top. Now, I talk a lot about keeping your hands up and making sure that you're controlling the line and there's no free punches. And again, sometimes Crawford breaks these rules, for being who I consider, and again, he's still working at it. It's interesting that he moved up out of welterweight, or he's moving up out of welterweight so quickly. I suppose fighting Boots Ennis is not a good idea for him. Now, I think that I favor him in the Ennis fight. I think that he would knock Ennis out. Not an easy fight, but I think that's my opinion. I think that Ennis is fast and he's sharp and all that stuff, but I think that Crawford is a better puncher than he is. And I think Crawford's a little bit faster. But Um, fuck was I talking about? Moving up in weight? Why am I talking about that? Who cares? But keeping his hands up. Keeping his hands up when he gets to the line. This is one of those things that either person can be made to pay for this mistake. You know, and in this case, Kavaliauskas is super fast and sharp, so Crawford is not able to, or he's able to time him and take advantage of the fact that he's coming forward with his hands down. Now again, look at this good control of the line that Kavaliauskas has. Very good understanding of where Crawford is. Control, jab to the body, hook, chases him. Now that's that probe that he ended on last time. Crawford is going to look to make the sequence a little bit longer, right? Because he doesn't want to keep eating that jab to the body. He has to stop it. So he chases him, boom, boom. And Kavaliauskas cracks him for chasing him. Again, watch this sequence again. Jab to the body, gets on the line. Crawford tries to get lead foot dominance, hit him with the hook, tries to chase him with the 1, 2, and then gets caught, boom, boom. Okay? Watch him try to chase him, bop, bop, bop. Really, really, really good shots from Kavaliauskas. Now again, Crawford, are his hands up? Nope, not really. Gets caught timed right there. Decent shot from Kavaliauskas. Catches him again with another shot. And this is like, so far, a pretty rough fight for Crawford. He's not really winning. Jab to the body. Tries to chase him back. Like, the son of a bitch. Do I want to go in there and get hit again? I don't know if I want to chase him anymore. So now he's feinting him, tries to catch him when he moves to the front foot. Kavaliauskas comes forward, feints him low, feints him with the jab to the body, makes him think he's going low. Crawford tries to parry and smacks Crawford in the face here. And again, all this stuff is built off of his ability to jab to the body, right? When we watch the beginning of this sequence here, hands down, right here. Jab to the body. He's parrying it, it's touching him still. But this is Israil Madrimov's biggest source of offense. And maybe, right, if he can get Crawford to fight with him. Now, here's the thing is Madrimov is going to jump on the line and try to make the fight there. He's not going to jump on the line and then jump off and then try to attack Crawford for chasing him, right? Or use the feint to the body, because here's Kavaliauskas using it as a feint to come upstairs instead. Madrimov doesn't really do this either. So, like, even though there's that jab to the body overlap in strategy, um, Madrimov is not really as schooled or as talented, I don't think, as Kavaliauskas. He's a good fighter, he's going to be hard to fight. And just like Kavaliauskas, just like everyone who fights Crawford, right? Everyone catches him clean. Everyone hits him hard, right? Not their hardest, because he's still hard to fight, right? But like, it's a fight, you know. Now, gets on the line, and this is one of those things that's going to be very, very difficult for someone like Madrimov to deal with, because Madrimov fights so often with that lead hand down that when the rear hand probe here gets here, look at how open he is for that left hand or that right hand cross or that right hand hook, right? So he gets on the line with the rear hand because the hands are not guarding the line, because he's sneaky, because he gets to the line with the front foot lead hand control. Now, instead of it being lead hand control, it's a rear hand, and he gets him with the probe. Beautiful shot, pendulums, and catches him with the hook here. Now, again, the guard that Madrimov presents on the line when his opponent throws punches at him when he tries to parry, he'll try to parry with one hand and have no rhyme or reason or idea of what to do with the other one. And I think that that's going to make things like the 2-3, 2-3 from Crawford very effective. Now, Crawford crosses the line here, back foot, feint, crosses the line, 2, baits a shot to this position, moves his head off the line, throws his own 3. I can't tell if he's getting hit here or not, but he's following a lot of the rules really well here. I do think Crawford still might be getting hit, but this is a pretty good trap. It's a lot of stuff going on, and again, the 2-3 I think is going to be very, very, very effective against Madrimov. Now, jumps on the line here with this little hook thing. Crawford kind of pulls it, counters, beautiful shot. Misses the three though, but very, very, very aware, looking to throw that shot. Now, watch Crawford coming forward on this lead hand. Lead hand pushes him off the line. Boom, boom, boom. And he tries to time it so he can go under that probe and then come here. Now, I think he's getting Crawford right here. Okay? I think he's catching Crawford and then getting punched in the face. Okay, now, Madrimov is a wild, power punching kind of guy. Like, I don't want to say wild, but he's gonna swing and throw some haymakers. He's gonna throw some bombs at this guy, at Crawford. And I think that Crawford sometimes doesn't block punches all the best way either. Okay, now hands down, that shot comes, he pulls. Maybe there was a two punch coming here, right? Boom, boom. Again, I think that Madrimov has a very, very, very fast 1-2. Cannot underrate it. I think it is so valuable. Okay. Um, and it may be, you know, even though the jab to the body looks like his most common opener, the 1-2 I think is going to be super, super, super effective for him if he can get those shots off. Now that shot comes, he pulls, counter, excellent shot. Gets on the line, counter again. Can't keep your hands down against Crawford. Counter, jab, pull, jumps off the line, counter. Two, three, right? Or two, pendulum, one. Now, catches Crawford with the two here, 2-1. Madrimov not really a rear hand puncher. Like he throws a good shot, but he doesn't throw it as a probe. Now, Crawford getting on the line with a two again, pull, three. Right? Again, he's very, very, very sneaky with the lead hand control. Boom. He makes him think it's lead hand control. Bah, got him off the line with the counter, countering. Right? And Crawford is very, very, very good at fighting off of his probes. Very, very good. And now, I want to point this out because he pulls, throws this shot, and then he's off the line. And then notice how quickly he tries to re-engage. This is a really interesting thing that most fighters don't really look to do. Most fighters are going to wait. They're going to look for, like, oh, okay, man, I need some time to chill. Okay, I just missed a sequence, or I just threw a counter punch and missed. I just, let's circle. Let's take some time off. And Crawford will do this thing at the end of sequences where he'll try to make the sequence pick up really quickly again. Now, it doesn't work out very well in his favor here because he gets hit with the 2-3. But we're going to take a look at sometimes where it does kind of affect, it does help him. Because there definitely are sometimes that it helps. Now, Littlegate is active guard, you guys. I just want to point this out real quick. I had a guy recently join my Patreon, and I was talking about, he's the active guard theory, and he's like, I've never seen anybody on the outside just using head movement. That's stupid, whatever it is that he says, something dumb. And it's like, well, here's the arguably pound for pound best fighter in the world, just here using his active guard out of range. That's how it works, right? There's like more tricks to it, but there it is, buddy. I kicked that guy out of my Patreon, by the way. I gave him a refund. I didn't steal his money or anything. Um, but but yeah, people who don't listen, people who wanna, whatever, whatever, they get kicked, and I kick a lot of people from Discord and Patreon. Don't worry. Now, hands down here. Okay, hands down. Very, very dangerous. Okay, very dangerous. And again, Crawford likes to play this game. Crawford likes to be in these positions. He likes to, I don't know, chill, relax in front of his opponent. He likes to make mistakes. Um, however you want to define it, or you think about that. Um, at different levels of fighting, it's different. Oh, he's baiting him. He's this. He's got control. So he's this. But at a really high level, when people are as fast, now throwing a punch off his active guard into the 2-3, now again getting countered here. Okay, but that was a lot of time to be standing in front of your opponent and have your hands down. Okay, control the line, controlling off that, moving off that shot. Now, pretty beautiful sequence here. Gets control, tap, tap, pull, counter. Really good shot. So, jab to the body. Now, I want to point this out real quick. This is the first time we've seen Crawford in the closed stance. Okay? And the first time that shot comes, bop, he counters it right away. Boom. Okay? Now, this is really interesting because I think that Madrimov is more predictable in the open stance. Um, more, but I think Crawford has a better defense for Madrimov when he's in the closed stance. But I think Madrimov is more dangerous when Crawford's in the closed stance. Like he's a better. I think Madrimov is a better fighter, even though you know what I mean. I don't know. Anyway, we got a lot of film to go over still. Counters the jab to the body immediately, doesn't let him get that punch. This is going to be really important. And this might make me think that Crawford will wind up being orthodox more in this fight than southpaw if he can take away that jab to the body. Now, counter, counter. Rear hand probe. Very difficult for Madrimov to deal with, I think. Now, he's just beating up um, Kavaliauskas at this point, using his active guard to hide that punch right there. Boom, boom, 2-3. Again, very, very effective for him. And again, I think that at some point, eventually, um, Madrimov gets tired. And I think that he slows down a lot. And I think as soon as he slows down, um, Crawford is going to be able to catch him, find him with some shots, and hurt him. Um, and I think that now, I think that that's a very, very, very likely scenario if Madrimov doesn't hurt Crawford early. Now, maybe he hurts Crawford early and it doesn't even matter because Crawford's got a pretty good chin. He recovers pretty well. Blah 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 blah. We still have more clips to look at. So here's a little bit of a mini Madrimov right here. Sean Porter. He's going to come forward with a very, very common pattern of jab, jab, parried, counter, pull, control, control, and then follow up. Now, double jab, very common. Boom, counters that, gets off the line with the counter, pulls, recontrols, and again, Crawford will do this thing where at the end of a sequence, he did everything right, and then his opponent's resetting. He'll look to get control, and he'll see how quickly sometimes he can follow up or start the next sequence. Okay, and here he kind of does it here, and he follows this one up, boom, and then gets back on the line. It doesn't work, right? And he gets hit in the liver and then peels off, but he tries to re-engage immediately. Okay, this is really, really, really important when we go back to pull counter. When we get back to the Madrimov. But again, look at the guard of Porter here. His hands are low. Stepping jab from Crawford, touches him just barely. He pulls, tries to counter, touches him, and then Crawford is countering with his own hook. Now, this is really important, okay? Because Madrimov's most common attack, jab to the body, follow up. Or it was fight off of his opponent's lead hand control. And here's Crawford. Okay, fight off my lead hand control. Bah! Come on in. Bah! Okay? And this is Crawford's main source of offense slash defense. Okay? Now, Porter's going to feint him here. jump on his line with a leaping shot. And this is really important, okay? Because sometimes Crawford is not going to be doing shit, okay? Keeping his hands to himself, not feinting, not probing, not controlling space. A little bit of an active guard crossing the line a little bit here. Not feinting, not doing a lot. And Porter jumps onto his line. Look at the guard that Crawford gives. Standard high guard, closes the middle. Shot comes around the guard. Leaping shot smacks him. This is really important because, again, Madrimov is very wild. He'll throw random hooks. He'll try to interact with the lead hand with his hook. He'll try to slip it and throw it as a hook. If you're in open stance, he'll throw it as an uppercut. He's going to try to get around that, even if the lead hand control is not coming, even if it's just the rhythm or the threat of the timing. And if Crawford is not looking to slip it, if he's not looking to get under it or block it correctly, um, this is the kind of shot where if you're just being lackadaisical, you're just going to let this, you know, random power punching guy jump on your line and throw a big donkey punch at you. You may wind up losing the fight. Okay. Now, again, the likelihood that Crawford loses this fight is very low, but these are all the ways that he may wind up losing, right? Again, giving his opponent just too much space, right? Jab, counter, jab to the body. He's countering with the hook already, trying, right? Again, very important. Um, but when Crawford gives space to his opponent, jab, slip, rear hand probe, pull, and again, Crawford's ready for it, right? Stepping jab. Now again, stepping jab, gets off the line for the counter, counters again. But Crawford often will give his opponents a lot of space to fight him. Okay, now beautiful move here. Porter gets on the line, jab, jab, double jab, boom. Comes forward. Crawford is sinking that rear hand in there. Come on in, buddy. Now, for those of you that are not super aware of Terence Crawford, and if you're a boxing fan and you don't really know who Crawford is yet, man, you are behind. Okay, um, I've been calling it the Crawford era for a few years. There was a while where I thought, a few years ago, I thought the best fight in boxing was going to wind up being Crawford versus Tim Tszyu. And then that wild shit with Tim Tszyu getting beat by Fundora, who he shouldn't even have fought, let alone on a short notice. Now he's gonna fight Tim. He's gonna fight Virgil Ortiz and get his ass kicked. Like, oh, poor Tim. All the fights he was supposed to avoid on getting a huge payday with Crawford. But but I think Crawford is like the best fighter in boxing. I think that overall talent level, there's a level of power, punching power, and speed that you just have to be a good fighter. It's just there is. Pali Malignaggi. There's just a level of fighter that he'll just never be able to beat. Sean Porter. He could never beat Sean Porter, not in a million years. Sean Porter would run Pali Malignaggi over every single time, right? But he just needs a little bit of punching power. If you guys want to learn punching power, you guys want to check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System, learn how 2-foot punching works. 2-foot punching is a theory and a drill and a training style that I use to teach punching power. I created it. It's my invention. And I'm the first person to teach it, and I'm the first person to teach people how punching power works with all the parts of your body. There are fraud channels like Tom Young-Callow that follow me, precision striking, obviously boxing gems and hidden gem, and you know all those channels, dynamic striking, Mighty Mouse, the MMA fighter, steals and uh, copies my theory for our film study. All these guys, Corey Sandhagen, all these guys are, rip-off artists for my theory. They see the value in the way that I teach stuff. There's a reason that they teach it so similarly and in such a similar way and similar words that I do. It's because it's the only way they've ever heard it explained before. But if you guys want to learn how punching power works, if you want to learn how to not be Pali Malignaggi, okay, and have a career where you're just like, okay, these guys have to be on steroids, okay? Um, If you guys want to learn how it all works, check out Fouts Boxing Combat System. Check out the reviews. Again, it's revolutionary. All that good stuff. Okay, back to the genius of Terence Crawford. Yada yada yada. Anyway, learn how punching power works for real. Okay, guaranteed every person can learn it. So he sees the shot coming, time, boom, throws the shot, jumps off the line, and then his opponent gets back on the line because he just exerted himself. He just threw a punch and tries to counter, so he's stepping jab. He protects the failed counter that he just threw with another power punch and then gets off the line again. And now he's circling, brings his feet together to pendulum walk. His opponent tries to cut the ring off, and he's like, you can cut the ring off over here? Switches southpaw, and now he's back in the position now. His opponent does make contact with his lead hand and then jump over his shot, and then he is forced to tie up. But a lot of really, really, really high level stuff here. Controlling with the lead hand, boom, boom. He on this timing here, counter, jumps off the line, re-protects that punch when his opponent tries to pendulum on him. Moving southpaw, changing southpaw when the ring gets cut off on him so he gets that angle. Now, Sean Porter does make a good adjustment and winds up timing him, but just a lot of really, really, really great stuff from Crawford. Big fan. Big fan. Lead hand control, jab to the body, touches him on the head. Southpaw. Okay. Again, I don't think Crawford is quite as good at countering the jab to the body when he's southpaw. Now, same thing when he pendulums in, same timing, but this time he's southpaw. Pendulum feints him here, controls him, and now he jumps in, pendulum, and then Crawford is sinking that shot in there. Woof, come on in, boy, come on in. Again, just super, super, super difficult to fight. Real quick, that's where you use it. Once you're in range, guys, you're not moving your head for your active guard. You're moving your head to punch your opponent. Now, jab. His opponent tries to fight off of the jab, follows him, chases him, counter. Okay. Now, Crawford gets hit here with a clean shot. Sometimes it's not that hard to hit him, but that was a lot of work. Okay, a few things happen, right? Porter has to chase him, slip this shot, chase him with a leaping shot, chase him with another leaping shot, get under this shot, grab him by the waist so he can't run, hold him here, and then punch him in the face. Crawford can be pretty slippery. He can be pretty slippery. He can be pretty tough to nail down, to find on the line here. 2, leaping shot. 3, catches him. Again, I think that's like the Israil Madrimov. And now Crawford setting down and trying to counter him. Okay. Now, Crawford does wind up getting into some clinches and stuff, and I think I have a couple of good clips of his clinches, and we're going to take a look and talk about them. If I made sure to get them, I'm not sure if I got them. Now, jabbing, again, Crawford very good at fighting off of his own jab, jumps off the line, counter, okay, shoves him, doesn't let the guy chase him. Now, when Crawford is going first, his defense is pretty good. He can jab, he can pull off the line, he can throw a rear hand, pull off the line. If you follow him after either punch, he can counter you. But when he's going second, here he is, Porter goes first. Porter's not landing this shot super cleanly, right? Hitting him with the forearm. But he got him with that shot. Crawford tries to follow up and counter. Crawford gets hit right there. Crawford gets tied up on the arm. Let's go. Boom. Porter lands another good shot here. And again, this sequence started off not too bad with Crawford going first. And then by the time Porter re-engaged and went first, he was able to get Crawford out of position, kind of landing the first shot. Now, first shot here. This is a really, really interesting sequence I want to go back to. Pull. Crawford probes at him, touches him just a little bit. Here comes a 3 from Porter. Pull just a little bit. I think I gotta plug my headphones in, guys. So 3, pull just a little bit. Counter to the body from Crawford. Counter right there again. Pull. Another shot comes. Pull. Counter. And Sean Porter, just watch this real time counter, 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 counter. I mean, he is just picking him off. Okay. Now, all this stuff is super important. Okay. Because again, this is that stuff that Crawford will be like, okay, well, we're going to do the sequence that I imagined in my head. Oh, there you go. Boom. Okay. Oh, we still going? Pop. Gotcha. Gotcha. We still going? Okay. Gotcha. And in these scrambles, right? I think these scrambles are going to be very effective against Madrimov because Madrimov shifts with so many of his punches. He leaps with so many of his punches. He finds himself out of position with so many of his punches. And I think that Crawford is going to be able to follow up on those kinds of scrambles with that kind of really high IQ, high striking ability. Now that shot comes at him, he pulls, jab to the body, counter, counter. Okay, so they're both kind of throwing hooks here, but Crawford's starting to follow up, boom, boom, with two punches on that jab to the body. Again, decent at taking that shot away. Active guard on the outside. Explodes in with that stepping jab, countered. Feints him, gets him to react, and again, Madrimov is going to be fighting off of Crawford's jab. He's going to be looking for places to fight because he can't. I think he's going to struggle finding openings. He's going to struggle finding places where he feels comfortable going first and attacking Crawford. So he's going to look to follow Crawford back on his jab. He's going to walk into stuff like that too. You know, hands are low, counter. Now, again, Crawford is not invincible. Okay, sometimes if he doesn't get to go first, he's kind of easy to hit. And again, I think this is one of the few times or one of the few places that Madrimov will have an advantage is if he can just go first, just throw some punches at Crawford. Now, that is like literally the stupidest thing I might have ever said in my whole life. Just jump on the line and throw punches at Crawford. You'll be fine. Just fucking go, dude. Just fucking flinging and no, he's gonna knock you out, right? So Crawford definitely needs to find some, or Madrimov definitely needs to find some way to get control of Crawford so he can let his power punches go because sometimes Crawford doesn't react super well. Now, Crawford spent the beginning of this clip doing a really good job controlling Porter, and what did Porter do to get out of the corner? He just started moving his head, jumping on the line with a leaping hook here, catching him here, catching him here, catching him here, catching him here. Now, catches him again, boom, 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 eats a body shot, and then Porter cracks him. But Crawford's doing a good job feinting him, controlling him. He's like, and then Porter just starts putting a little bit of pace on him, right? Starts saying, okay, you're not going to get me in the corner. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, bro. What? 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 Juking him, right? Now, this is one of the only punches that I think that Crawford throws that's kind of a fake punch. He throws this shot to the body here. Um, I think this shot may wind up causing him to get hit by Madrimov. Now, a few things. Madrimov gets credit for being a puncher. I'm not sure if he's a puncher or not. I know he's strong. I know his hands are fast, but as like a pound for pound puncher, I don't think so. I think he's like got okay punching power, but I don't think he's gonna be icing Terence Crawford. Probably, like probably not. Rear hand gets on the line, chasing him, gets on the line, counter. Now this is really interesting because he throws this shot, Crawford pulls it, and then Crawford touches him on the face with the right hand, and then Porter throws his left hand, jumps off the line, throws the two. And look at the look on his face. Okay? Now look at this position, you guys. Jumps on the line, boom, look at the two. Look at the left hand of Porter. You see how the left hand is low? You guys remember earlier how I was talking about the 2-3 is going to be very, very, very valuable for Crawford? Well, as he starts getting the guy to chase him, I think that that's going to wind up being the case. Now, again, jumps on the line, two, catches him with a good shot. The guy is circling, moving around, finds an opportunity to kind of sneak into this stepping jab, pull counter, liver shot, drops him. Now, if that leg's kind of tie up, maybe he's shoving him, maybe this, maybe that. It's still great defense. And again, Madrimov will just randomly circle and move around because his openings suck. He's always stepping, jabbing, and he doesn't know how to use the rear hand probe. So he's going to circle and move so he can find an opportunity to let you throw a punch at him or to hide his jab a little bit better. Now, jumps right on the line, smacks Crawford right in the face. Really good shot. Now, it's not that hard to hit Crawford sometimes if you're willing to go first. Now, counter from Crawford. He wasn't hurt. Really good shot. Again, following him around. Feint. Counter. Beautiful. Super hard to fight. Super hard to fight. Chases him. Pendulum. Counter. Counter. Control. Pull off the line. Now again, this is what Madrimov is going to have to try to do as well. He's going to try to be leaping and doing this kind of stuff, and Crawford staying in decent position to counter, right? I think that leaping stuff is going to be so present in Madrimov. Counter again, getting into commit, countering him with the little hook on the way. Really good shot. And again, getting the guy to chase him. Boom, touch, touch, counter to the body. Really good shot. Comes up into the three. And again, I think this shot is going to be very, very, very valuable. Porter did a good job of defending himself there. Now, jumps on the line, body shot, counter with the hook, counter, counter. And Crawford is meeting Porter with all those beats every time Porter lets a shot go. Now, watch this clip here, you guys. Watch the defense here. Look at him pull that shot and counter here. Look at the margins. And then counter. Again, I think that Madrimov is in danger here. Jumps on his line, even gets him, hands down, right? Again, counter. Again, I think that Crawford sometimes lets his opponents into the fight more than he needs to. And his hands will be down. He won't be looking to set stuff up as well. He'll be just chilling. And it'll be kind of easy to hit him. Boom. Now, jumps on the line. Jab, pendulum, counter, pull, gets him again, right? Again, Madrimov, if he follows up, if he's not getting hurt, hard shot. Little clinch here from Crawford. Very interesting that he gets his arm all the way around his body. Actually, usually he does it like a little bit different of a strategy. Active guard on the outside. Look at you guys. Both of them are doing it. Both of them are on the outside out of range throwing punches, or moving their head and not throwing punches. Look at that, you guys. How funny. It's amazing what happens, what you'll see in a fight when neither of the guys in the fight are retarded. Now again, trying to counter that jab, I think that it's going to be a very, very common thing. Boom. Boom. Look at the margins, right? Counter. Now, good follow-up from Porter here. Again, the cost of business is just so high fighting Crawford. Okay, and Madrimov, I think, is going to be in trouble. I think he's going to have a hard time keeping up. Now again, jumps on the line, double jab, 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 counter. Beautiful shot. Beautiful. Good shot again, and Porter's made a little adjustment. Jab, get into the counter, counter. Now, normally this is the type of clinch that Crawford gets. He'll be wrapping the other arm, And then just holding his arm here, and you can't really hit him that much, but he doesn't usually grab your body. His arm grip here is kind of high, but at least his other hand is not on the guy's body. Now, I want to pay attention to the fact that most of this shit doesn't work, right? What Crawford was doing there is not so like isolating and preventing the guy from being able to hit him. That he's like, I guess the best way I've heard is an octopus. It is your athleticism and your strength and your ability to conserve your energy is so valuable, because you can't have 30-second sprints in the fight where you can't throw any punches and your opponent can just leap on your line like this and throw punches at you. Now, the sequence finally ends when Porter gets so tired of punching Crawford in the face that he has to hold his head down. But Crawford was kind of taking a beating there. And again, he'll just let the guys throw punches at him sometimes. Now, Porter jumps on the line, throws a jab at him. He counters him with a shot immediately. Now, Porter's going to get on the line again. Oh, he touches the line. Boom, counters him. Right? Lead hand control into 2-beat counter. Parries the shot immediately. Counter. 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 Gets on the line. Touch, touch. Gets under this shot. Gets under this shot. And then immediately back on the line. Pull. Counter. 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 Again, once he gets turned on, man, Crawford is just a menace. So many of those beats, so many of those trainings, so many of those sequences, just Crawford continuing them, putting further stress on his opponent, further breaking them down, finding smaller and smaller holes to exploit. Now, very important, pull, touches with the 1 as a probe, and then lands a 2 here, while his opponent is coming forward. Jab, boom. Very, very cool move here, by the way. Look at him. He's trying to chase him. Porter tries to pendulum on his line. Controls him as he pendulums. Pendulums again. Crawford pendulums and moves away. Porter tries to cut the ring off. Changes direction. Now watch Porter. He's going to pendulum step here. Front foot, back foot, big pendulum step. Gets smacked. Beautiful shot here. Beautiful, beautiful shot. Boom. Smacks him with that little uppercut. Now, it looks like their heads kind of come together, and we're going to see a couple of these clips, these little tiny. Yeah. So it looks like it hits him here on the shoulder, right? Which is so weird in this clip. Like, look at this. Right? Looks like it hits him in the shoulder, and it barely touches his head. And then in the other clip here, shoulder, head. And it looks like it's a much more meaty punch from this angle here. But set that up right there. Beautiful, beautiful work from Crawford. And again, getting better and better at that move as the fight goes on. Holding his waist, illegal stuff from Porter. Just can't keep up with them. I just thought that was really funny. Now, jumps on his line with a 2. Boom. Circle. Little karate bouncing. Beat, 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 beat. Porter's trying to put the pressure on him. Meeting him. Boom. Pushes him off the line. Boom, boom. And just so fast. Look at him hide that 2 to the body right there. As soon as Porter gets to the front foot, pendulum, back foot, front foot, back foot, pendulum, the front foot lands, bah! Lands again, 1-2. Man, such a crazy offense once he gets going. Now again, this is that fake move that Crawford will throw sometimes. He's throwing this right hook to the body, stepping with it, gets cracked by Porter as a counter. 2. Now remember earlier when he chased him with this move, he caught him in between pendulums. Follow up. Boom. Okay. pendulum, pull, tries to counter him, counter, counter, pull, counter again. Really, really, really good scrambling from Crawford, getting on the line with the lead hand control, throwing the 2, pull, counter, beautiful work. Super hard to fight. Pendulums onto the line, 2, eats that shot, beautiful. Is this the last clip? No, that's it. That's it, guys. That's the full film study. Now, what do I think is going to happen in the fight? I think that there are a few things that could happen. I think that Crawford could get hurt early, hit hard and hurt early, just like the Kavaliauskas fight. And then I think he recovers and beats the crap out of Madrimov. I think that Madrimov, no matter what, his defense is not good enough. He pendulums too much. He's just so much shifting going forward, so much momentum, not enough snap. He doesn't hit hard enough. But I do think that he's going to fight really hard for 3 rounds. And then Crawford is probably going to, take him to deep water. And the thing is nobody knows what deep water is with Madrimov. He does have a couple of decision wins. But he hasn't really fought anyone who can make him fight really hard, who's really skilled and really talented. He has fought people who are fast. This guy, Michael Soro, and that guy fought pretty well. But yeah, I'm expecting Crawford. I'm expecting Crawford to annihilate Madrimov, to annihilate him, really kick his ass. I don't think Madrimov is going to follow up on the body shots as well as Kavaliauskas did. I think that it may be like his main source of offense, but it's not going to be as fruitful for him. And then I think that following Crawford's jab back is going to get him hit and hurt. And I don't think that he has the defense or the traps like Porter to really make a game of it, to throw that shot, roll under the hook, and land his own rear hand, multiple times. So I'm picking Crawford, KO. I would I want to pick first 6 rounds, but I think Crawford is like I think it'll actually be like the 9th round, like a mid toward the second half, middle of the second half of the fight. Crawford's really not the kind of guy who's like really trying to put on a show, you know. It's just gonna happen. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. And if you guys need someone to check out your work, if you guys need someone to check out your film study, your sparring, your amateur fights, your pro fights, your shadow boxing, heavy bag work, double impact work, speed bag work, jumping rope, um, if you need someone to help you get better, okay, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat, or check out my Patreon. $50 to sign up, $50 a month. You send in your videos. I teach you how to get better. I teach you how to drill. And as long as you do the things that I say to do, you will get better. Okay? You will get better. And, like that last guy who, would send in videos like once every week and a half or so, something like that. If you're not working hard like that guy, you know, you're not going to get better. Okay? And uh if you're not going to get better, the things that I have to teach are not going to make sense. You got to keep getting better so you can keep understanding more about boxing, because again, like, you have so many people like shitty channels like Boxing Gems, right? These guys are not athletes. These guys are not former fighters or former pro fighters, or these guys are not it. And that's why they don't understand how athleticism and strength fits in how this stuff works and how it's applied. Why holding the phone is not a real strategy. Fighting is dynamic. Your positions are dynamic. And your opponent feinting and probing you has an effect on your position. And if it doesn't, you're never even going to make it out of the amateurs. So, you got to work hard. You got to get better. And that's the only way to start understanding deeper levels of boxing is to pass through them. So it's like a long journey. It's a long process. You're not just gonna like watch a couple of film studies and be like, oh yeah, I got it. No. So anyway, if you guys want someone to help you go through all that stuff, go through that process of getting better, teach you what you need to work on, teach you the small things and the big things that you're doing wrong, that are having an negative impact on your ability to grow, check out my Patreon. Um, and yeah, um, be prepared to work as hard learning the stuff as I work as hard to teach you.